Welcome back to Hello Nigeria. Of course, it's time for us to look at what's trending in the news. And to do that with us, we have Ezugu Chukwudi. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, ladies. Happy New Week.
Happy New Week.
You are looking like Monday, the end of April.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how that rhymes, but I just wanted to do something different.
I was going to say next week, Monday, is actually the end of April.
Hey,
wow,
okay, yeah,
the end of April is coming back soon.
Last full week in April.
Okay, the other one is a half week.
It's not even half.
Even one day.
It's just disrespected itself and extended.
Chukwudi, what's your favorite book?
Well,
Today is World Book Day, so we've all shared. Or what book are you reading at the moment? And don't call it newspaper.
I'm trying to
This is what he even told me the other day. He was like, in my spare time, all I do is read newspaper.
Exactly. He reads newspaper, he watches
not
the
bad.
news. That's not bad.
really good.
Because that's
you
you
know?
getting information and being updated on current affairs. And of course, it certainly helps with your work.
Very true. And aside from current affairs, there are several, I don't know, do I say segments?
Contributions.
Like, for example, yeah, aside from the contributions, you get, you know, I mean, you can read subjects on science, arts, and the rest of them. So I think the newspaper is a very, aside from the holy book, you understand?
The newspaper is a powerful tool.
A very powerful tool because, I mean, back page and, you know, some paper, center spread, sports, you have the arts, you have science. I mean, I think you're just loaded.
All right, you're not the only person who has the same view. In the news, we have Victoria Praise has come out to say that the people that must grow must imbibe a reading culture. But do we have a reading culture in Nigeria?
Well, first and foremost, we have to first begin with Nigeria's standard of education. Because we are not encouraged or gingered at all to read. I was discussing behind the scene how you receive messages from young people or you read what young people write. And there's a very big problem with am, A-M, and I am.
That's my pet peeve.
That's my pet peeve, A-M instead of I''M.
And then you cannot blame these people or our young children or our young people because of the falling standard of education. I mean, we have people who just want to, you know, engage in the business of education because they want to make profit. Or they want to, they don't want to be idle. And you have young people who just feel that I just have to get education because my parents want me to get education, or so that I can stand and be counted in society. But the truth is, it's beyond that. It's a lifestyle. And there's a problem because the English language is our lingua franca. If the English language is supposed to be the language of communication in every official matter involving Nigerians, then we should do a whole lot more.
Yes.
If we cannot help it or manage it, let's just come back home and do the one we know, even if it's pidgin English. It's not bad, but we need to do a lot more. And, you know, I'm sure, I'm very certain that when we talk about Nigeria's ministers, a lot of people don't even know that Malam Adamu is the Minister for Education. And this man said that they were going to declare a state of emergency in the educational sector in March. It appears he has forgotten.
In fact, they've actually given us good news. According to them, they said that the standard of education has improved. That before President Muhammadu Buhari got into power, it was 10.5%, but now it has dropped to 8.6%.
Please, these people should not, I was speaking their English. They should not angry me. Which one is the standard of education in Nigeria has improved? When we talk of standard of education, is it about renovating secondary schools or constructing primary schools? Or putting pictures out?
New statistics that they're offering, because that was by UNESCO, the one of the 10.5 million.
Please,
so
these people should not even angry me at all.
Now, let me ask you a question.
Let me just quickly say this. Sorry. See, UNESCO has always said that if you want to show that you are committed to improving education, at least 26% of your budget. In this administration, we have even gone lower. And somebody is telling me we have improved. Improve what? Where children are shouting capital letter A, small letter A, capital letter B, small letter B. That's from as it was in the beginning, it's now, and it shall be. Word without end.
Now, let me ask you a question, because I heard this on my way here, and I wanted to just pose that to you, because it just shows the premium that people put on education in Nigeria. If you had to choose between, as a parent, paying your house rent, which is due, and your child's school fees, which would you choose and why?
You see, the truth is, you see parents pray. I will say the prayer point in Yoruba. They will say, that we should not see bad thing. And ashiriabo. Ashiriabo means your secrets
will be covered.
You can hide your child in your house. when you have paid your house rent and the child did not pay school fees. and tell the child, shh, don't shout.
I agree with you.
Solve the assignment.
You do? Because you can actually, if it's education, depending on the level of education, you could homeschool your child.
Yeah.
You can take out time to say, you know, since I can't afford to send you to school, I'll get the syllabus and I will teach you at home.
And if you are fortunate, if the husband and wife are intelligent people, you give birth to a child that is intelligent. But if you are Okpo, you marry Okpo, you give birth to Okpo, it's a problem for you. But the truth is, see, we should not even be having this discussion on housing and also education. Why?
Yeah.
Because these are basic necessities that should be available.
That's right.
We have a hashtag on our radio show, the best radio show in the whole of Nigeria. Hashtag
Education is liberation. Honestly, though, education is liberation. So trust me, Chukudi and I are always going on about that hashtag if you tune into our radio show. But you mentioned something, Chukudi, which was that the education budget, if we look at it, is basically nonsensical. Now, speaking of the budget, it looks like the National Assembly is having some difficulties passing this budget that Yakubu Dogara said must be passed by April 24th.
Must.
Today is what? April 23rd. So what exactly is going on?
You see, the budget is shaky. It's really shaky. And you know why this budget is shaky? The budget is shaky because these people can dip their hands. And when I say these people, I don't mean just the members of the legislative arm of government, the executive, the judiciary, all of them, the political class that represent us or that we validated their mandate, whether elected or appointed, can dip their hand into our collective accounts and enrich themselves.
And are we still waiting for people to come and defend?
Exactly. Now, let me ask you this question. If as a husband, I do not provide money for afternoon soup or soup, I should not be expecting anything when I get home because the woman is not going to, not woman now, okay, maybe she's the housewife.
The human.
Or the husband or the wife. Oh, God, I should not use this example. But the truth is, okay, let's go by the basic understanding. Breadwinner, so that I don't mention anybody's name. If the breadwinner does not provide the breadwinner cannot win anything. I can't come back and say, where's lunch, where's dinner, when I did not provide anything before leaving. I can't expect my children to excel in school when I do not buy the basic commodities or the essential commodities they would need when they get to school. Now, these people pay themselves their salaries. The budget has not been passed on the 23rd of April. It is looking most unlikely that it will be passed on the 24th. Remember, Dino Melaye has been arrested, and it is Eyoje. That's what they always do. They would always want to use what they have to their advantage and negotiate. But they have paid themselves January salary. They have paid themselves February salary. They have paid themselves March salary. 25th as a civil servant.
And they paid themselves probably April salary.
Of course,
because they don't
as a civil servant, you removed all the Saturdays, and the month will begin to end around 24th.
All right.
So the bank alert will soon start sounding.
So this has, the appropriation bill, the 8.612 trillion appropriation bill has been presented to the House since 7th of November 2017. Now we're seeing, they've been trading blames. The executive is saying it's
all their fault
to be blamed. Now it does seem that we will not meet the deadline tomorrow. So what happens?
Well, it's a miracle working God. It's a miracle working God. Anything can still happen. But the truth is, see, you cannot confess positivity, where the situation is already negative. It's clear now that these people do not have the interest of Nigerians at heart. The president was supposed to have submitted the budget in September to break record. He didn't in September. He did in November. Since November, you haven't forgotten that the president gave a deadline and said that the heads of MDAs should go and defend their budget or else they would face the music. Have you also forgotten that the Senate president also said that, you know, certain committees in the Senate were holding them to ransom? They know what they are doing now. As Nigerians, let us tell ourselves the truth. A lot of the people in political office today, first and foremost, if we talk about experience, they bring nothing to the table. Experience is not about serving as ex-governor or deputy governor. If you have served as governor for 8 years, I did not see any improvement in my life. So there's no
experience, actually, because if they actually did a good job whilst in office, that's a good experience to go by to actually elect them as senators.
So it is not any experience at all. Because if you want to talk about experience, there's no difference between you that you were governor for 8 years and you are now in the Senate and myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I improved my own life, you did not improve mine.
Talking about experience, holding them to account and what's going on. Now, one of the things we've talked about here a number of times is that we don't have to wait for the next election cycle to actually actually hold them to experience. There's something we call a recall. You can recall your elected representative. Now, a move was made to one of our representatives, Dino Melaye, from Kogi State, and he seemed not to have responded to the police calls. Now, according to reports this morning, he's been apprehended. Can you give us an update on that?
Well, Senator Dino Melaye, the back and forth, first and foremost, the whole issue between himself and the Governor Yahya Bello, has resulted in a lot of political upheaval in his home state in Kogi and also at the center in the House of Senate. Now, the truth is, you know, certain young men were arrested and they claimed that it was Dino Melaye that allegedly gave them weapons. Now, the police invited him, you know, he failed to show up. And he cited the fact that he is not safe anywhere in Kogi, and you know the police was working in collusion with the governor of Kogi State, and most likely they were going to assassinate or kill him. And the police declared him wanted. But the truth is, you cannot declare somebody wanted without a valid court order. So it's good for us to know our work.
Yes.
You cannot declare somebody wanted without a valid court order. Now, know your work.
But how would they be brazen enough to actually arrest him without a court order, knowing that Dino Melaye is not a quiet man, not a pushover, that's the right word. Now, he would definitely fight them, and they're at the risk of a litigation.
Exactly. So, now, the truth is, he was apprehended or he was picked up by men of the Nigerian Immigration Service, and the claim was that his name was in the Interpol watch list, and they could not allow him travel to Morocco. He was going to represent, he said it's the federal government-sponsored trip to Morocco, wearing red and red, looking like a Shango worshipper. He was on his way to Morocco, but they arrested him. The police is here to respond, but they were waiting the police to, you know, arrive and take him because, I mean, the executive arm of government, that's the responsibility. But the truth is, let's talk about accountability and responsibility. People who hold positions must be seen as people who we aspire to become, and they must put the interests of the people first. When they fail to do so, they are a waste of time. All
right, very quickly, one area I would like the police to actually be of use to us would be the area of restoring security and stability to Nigeria. We talked about Kogi State. That's another state that has been under attack by suicide bombers and herdsmen. Kogi State and some other states, Borno State as well. And we recently had reports that there was an attack and 17 Nigerians died. We don't want to be desensitized. We want to keep talking about the stories as they happen. Very quickly, tell us what happened.
It is sad that every time we say 17, 23, 32, 30, 14, and some people come and say, no, there's only 7 people that died. Every Nigerian life is very, very precious and important. And we must place premium on the value of Nigerian lives. Only then will we protect and preserve, you know, our territorial integrity and corporate existence. I would say God rest the dead, and hope that we would get to the point in our country where people will go to bed with both eyes closed or go about their business feeling safe in their great country, our great country, Nigeria.
Indeed.
And not be told to pick up rocks to defend themselves,
exactly.
or stones to defend themselves.
A lot of people are probably preparing to port from Nigeria after 2019 elections.
Oh, are we done with trending stories?
Yes, we are.
Please permit me to sing this song, because it's good to always testify with your mouth, but it should be positive. When you now testify and you now backfire on you, it's trouble. Senator Dino Melaye, you know his favorite song. Aje kunya ni oje, hey. Aje kunya ni oje, eni ti o to ni no to dino de ni. Aje kunya ni oje. As it is, Aje kunya is loading for him.
Okay. All right, we'll keep our fingers crossed and see how the plot plays out. But the plot keeps getting thicker by the day. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love her.